The Sky Garden floated high above a calm blue planet. It was a peaceful space station, built by many species working together. Plants grew along the walls, glowing softly. Birds from 5 different planets sang sweet songs in the gardens. Here, aliens from across the galaxy met to share ideas, art, and science. A young human engineer named Tom stepped out of the shuttle and looked around. It was his first time on Sky Garden. His dark boots made soft steps on the glass floor around him. Creatures with feathers, scales, and fur walked together. Some were tall and thin, others short and glowing. But everyone respected the rules of the Sky Garden: no fighting, no lies, and no showing off without reason. Tom had a small case in his hand. Inside was something Earth was proud of, a new piece of technology. Not a weapon, not a toy. It was something different, and he was here to show it to others. At the same time, 3 alien girls arrived from a distant star system called Arene. Their names were Zella, Mira, and Rin. Zella was the oldest. She had soft purple skin and hair that moved like water. She was a thinker, always quiet but sharp. Mira, with green-tinted skin and silver eyes, was the curious one. She asked many questions. Rin was the youngest, with tiny glowing spots on her cheeks and a bright laugh. They had never seen a human before. On their planet, humans were only stories, wild, loud, and not very smart. "Why are we going to the Earth booth?" Rin asked as they floated gently along the hallway. Mira smiled. "Because the council told us to observe and learn. Every species gets a chance. I hope it's not boring," Rin said. Zella said nothing. She simply walked forward, thinking. They arrived at the Earth booth, a small clean room with clear walls. Tom stood behind a table with a calm smile. He looked simple, just a young man in a clean uniform with short brown hair. Nothing special. "Welcome," Tom said politely. "I'm Tom. I'm here to show you something." The girls looked around. There was no screen, no shining machine, just a small silver box on the table. "That's it?" Mira asked. Tom nodded. "Yes, it's a portable fusion generator. It can power a city." Zella raised an eyebrow. "That small thing, a city?" Tom smiled. "Yes. Would you like to see it work?" Without waiting, he pressed a button. A soft hum filled the room. The walls lit up. Lights danced in the air. A fan in the corner started spinning fast. A small water fountain on the table began to flow, all from the tiny box. The girls stared in silence. "No way," Rin whispered. Tom gently picked up the generator. "It uses fusion, like a star. Very stable, very safe." Zella stepped closer. "How long can it run?" Tom answered. "This model can run for 10 years before it needs fuel." The girls exchanged glances. On their world, power was shared from one giant station. It often broke. Their cities went dark for hours sometimes. Mira looked at him. "You carry this in your hand?" Tom nodded. "Yes, it's standard on Earth now." Rin frowned. "Why don't you share it with the galaxy?" "We tried," Tom said, "but most people didn't believe it. Others thought we were hiding something. So now, we just show it when asked." Zella touched the clear wall. Her voice was soft. "I thought humans were simple. Now I'm not sure." Tom didn't say anything. He just placed the box down again and turned it off. The lights faded. The fountain stopped. But the feeling stayed. After the demonstration, the girls sat in the garden. Near the booth, birds chirped. Soft wind moved the leaves. "That was not normal," Mira said. "I know." Rin agreed. "That box could change our entire world." Zella nodded slowly. "We came here to watch. But maybe we should listen too." They looked back at the Earth booth. Tom was talking to another alien, showing the box again. He was calm, kind, and didn't boast. That surprised them even more. "Maybe humans are not what we thought," Mira said. "They're better," Rin whispered. Later that evening, the Sky Garden held a gathering in the open hall. Creatures from over 30 planets shared music and food. The girls sat together, still talking about the fusion generator. Tom passed by, holding a plate of fruit. When he saw them, he smiled. "May I join you?" he asked. "Of course," Zella said. Her tone was more friendly now. They sat and talked for hours. Tom told them about Earth, about the sunrises, the rivers, the laughter of children. He didn't only talk about machines, he talked about people, and that impressed the girls even more. By the time the stars filled the sky dome above the sky garden, something had changed. The alien girls no longer thought of humans as wild or foolish. They now saw them as builders, dreamers, and maybe something more. And though they didn't say it out loud, all three of them felt the same thing. In their hearts, I want to see Earth with my own eyes. The next morning on the Sky Garden station was calm. The sun from the nearby star shone through the glass ceiling, lighting the plants with a soft golden glow. Small birds sang in the trees as people from many worlds walked peacefully among them. Tom stood in front of a tall round building called the Hall of Thought. Today, he was invited to speak in one of the learning rooms. It was a place where alien scientists, students, and leaders came to listen and learn. Inside, the room had no chairs. Instead, there were soft floating cushions, shaped like clouds. The walls were alive, showing changing scenes of forests, oceans, and skies. The air smelled fresh and light. Tom carried a small square device in his hand. It looked simple, like a black stone with a soft blue light in the middle. As the guests began to enter, Tom saw the three alien girls again, Zella, Mira, and Rin. They smiled and floated over to sit near him. They were excited, back to amaze. "US again?" Mira said with a small laugh. Tom chuckled. "I'll try." More aliens arrived, some with tall necks, some with wings, some glowing softly. All were curious. They had heard about the fusion box Tom showed yesterday. Now they wanted to see more. When the room was quiet, Tom held up the small device. "This," he said, "is a human translator. But not just any translator. This one understands more than words. It understands feelings." A gentle murmur filled the room. Zella narrowed her eyes. "Feelings? You mean emotions?" Tom nodded. "Yes. It learns how you speak. Then it listens not just to what you say, but how you say it." He placed the device in the center of the room. A soft sound hummed from it. Then he stepped back. "I need someone to try it," Tom said. Mira raised her hand. "I'll go." She floated to the center and looked at the device. "Can it speak my language?" Tom smiled. "Try." Mira began to speak in her own tongue. It was soft, like singing. Her words rose and fell like waves. Her voice became slow, then fast. She used her hands, her eyes, her whole body as she spoke. When she stopped, the room was quiet. Then the device spoke. It translated her words into soft, clear English, but not in a cold machine voice. It copied her tone, her sadness, her hope. It said, "On my world, we dream of stars, but we fear the silence. I want to know if your stars are kind." Everyone sat still, amazed. Zela looked at Tom. It caught her feeling. Tom nodded. "Yes, that's why we call it the heart translator." Rin stood up. "Can I try?" She spoke in quick, short sounds, full of energy and light. The device waited. Then it replied, "My heart beats fast. I want to fly. I want to build. I want to understand." Rin clapped her hands. "That's exactly what I said." Tom sat back and let the others try too. One by one, creatures from many planets spoke to the translator, and it listened, it learned, it responded in ways no one expected. "This could stop wars," one tall alien said. "Most fights start with misunderstanding." "Yes," Tom said. "We made this after years of conflict. We wanted peace. We wanted to listen better." Zella leaned forward. "How does it work?" Tom took a deep breath. "It uses something we call deep emotional learning. It studies your breath, your eyes, your heartbeat. Then it connects the feeling to the meaning. Over time, it becomes better than even we are." Mira tilted her head. "Is it alive?" "No," Tom said. "But it understands like a friend." Zella looked at her sisters. "Can we bring one home?" Tom smiled. "That's up to your leaders. But I can give you this one for learning." The three girls looked at the translator, almost like it was magic. After the session, the girls walked with Tom in the garden. Mira was quiet. That was strange. She always had questions. Tom noticed, "Something on your mind?" She nodded. "That Device, it knew what I felt, but no one on my planet has ever understood me that well. Not even my teachers. Tom said nothing at first, then he gently replied, sometimes. Machines can help us become better at being human. Ren said, I want one for every child in our schools. It would stop so many fights. Tom looked at the trees. It helped us too. Back on Earth, we had many problems. Misunderstanding each other was one of the biggest. We made this to help us become more honest and more kind. Zell walked slowly, thinking. Your world, it used to be like ours. Tom nodded. Not long ago. But we made mistakes. We learned. We changed. The girls stopped walking. The garden was quiet. The only sound was the soft wind and the singing birds. Zell looked at Tom carefully. Why do you share all this with us? We could copy your work. We could take your ideas. Tom smiled gently. We don't share because we want control. We share because we want peace. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then Ren said, I used to think Earth was full of noise and war. But now I think maybe Earth is full of heart. That night, the girls sat in their quarters, talking. Zella held the small translator in her hand. It glowed softly. It's more than just a tool. She said, it's a gift. Mira lay back on her cushion. I want to visit Earth one day. Not just to see the machines, but to see the people who made them. Ren smiled. Maybe we can bring our people too. Zella nodded. If we share this with our world, it might change everything. Mira looked out the window. The stars shone brightly. One of them was Earth's sun, she whispered. I used to look at the stars and wonder what was out there. Now I know. Out there is hope. The next day on Sky Garden Station was full of excitement. A special event was announced. Visitors from different worlds were invited to tour a human space vessel docked just outside the station. It was called the Horizon Star. Zella, Mira, and Ren hurried toward the launch deck, eyes wide with curiosity. Do you think it's as amazing as the fusion box or the translator? Ren asked. I don't know, Zella replied. But if it's from Earth, I expect it will surprise us again. Mira grinned. Let's find out. They boarded a small shuttle that took them to the Horizon Star. The ship floated calmly in space, its silver body shining under the sunlight. Unlike most alien ships, which were sharp, dark, or covered in sensors, this one looked smooth and beautiful, almost like a giant bird made of glass and steel. When they entered, they found Tom waiting for them near the main hall. Welcome aboard, Tom said with a friendly smile. This ship is one of Earth's newest long-range vessels. It travels far without stopping for repairs. Let me show you why. The inside of the ship was bright and clean. Lights glowed softly from the walls. The floors were warm to the touch. Air moved gently, fresh like a garden. Tom led them through narrow passageways to a wide room with thick windows. In the center was a large screen showing a model of the ship. Along the walls were shelves filled with strange tools and tiny machines. Zella pointed to the screen. What are those small dots moving inside the ship? Tom walked to the panel and zoomed in. The screen now showed hundreds of tiny robot-like objects crawling along the inside of the ship's walls. These are nanobots, Tom explained. Very small machines. They move through the ship all the time, checking for damage, cleaning dust, and fixing anything that breaks. Mira leaned closer. They fix the ship. Without people? Tom nodded. Exactly. Even if we're far from home, the ship stays strong. Ren smiled wide. So if something breaks, the ship heals itself? Yes, Tom said. We call it self-repair technology. He picked up a small piece of whole material from the table. It looked like silver cloth but felt hard like stone. This is a smart alloy. Tom said, if it's damaged, it sends a signal to the nanobots. They rush to the spot and begin fixing it right away. Zella touched the sample gently. We would need a whole crew to do that by hand. Tom looked at them. Would you like to see a live demonstration? Minutes? Later, the group entered a testing room with strong safety walls. A small part of the ship's outer panel was set up inside, made from the same smart alloy. Tom turned to the control panel and said, I will cause a small impact. Don't worry. It's safe. He pressed a button. A metal ball was launched at high speed toward the panel. It hit the surface with a loud bang, leaving a dent and small cracks. Rin jumped slightly. That would take hours to fix. But then, something incredible happened. Tiny lights glowed along the damaged surface. Within seconds, the cracks started to close. The metal began to shift, melt, and reshape. In less than a minute, the dent was gone. The panel looked as good as new. The girls stared with wide eyes. That's impossible, Mira whispered. No, Tom said calmly. That's human engineering. Zella was quiet. She touched the wall beside her and asked, "What powers all this?" Tom smiled. "The same fusion generator you saw before. Clean, powerful, and long-lasting," Rin said. "On our ships, we stop often for repairs. We carry large tool teams. And when we're hit by asteroids, we stay grounded for days." Tom nodded. "That's how it was for us too before we built this kind of tech." Mira looked around the room. "How long did it take to build this ship?" "4 years." Tom said, "But only because we tested every system carefully. The ship builds most of its own parts using auto-fabricators." "Auto-fabricators?" Zella asked. "Machines that make other machines," Tom replied. "They use raw material and design blueprints to make whatever we need, parts, tools, even food supplies." Rin laughed. "A ship that builds itself, feeds you, and heals itself? What do you even do as a crew?" Tom grinned. "We explore, we learn, and sometimes we help." After the tour, the group gathered in the observation deck of the ship through the large windows. They could see Sky Garden floating peacefully among the stars. Zella stood beside Tom. "This ship, it's not just a machine. It feels like something alive." "That's the idea," Tom said. "A ship should protect its crew like a living thing." Mira sat on a bench, her eyes still wide. "I used to think our technology was advanced. But this is something else." Rin nodded. "I want to bring our engineers here. They need to see this." Tom looked at all 3 girls. "If you want, I can share the designs. But remember, this technology isn't just about machines. It's about trust. We give it to those who use it for peace, not power." Zella turned toward him. "You could rule many planets with this, but instead, you offered to share it." "Why?" Tom answered simply. "Because Earth remembers its past. We once used machines for war. Now we use them to build a better future." There was silence for a moment. Then Mira said, "And now I understand what makes your world special. It's not the machines. It's the people who build them and what they believe in." As the shuttle took them back to Sky Garden, the girls sat quietly, deep in thought. Ryan whispered, "What if we took just a small part of this knowledge home? What if we taught it to our people?" Zella replied, "Then maybe our world could change, too." Mira smiled. "Let's not just be visitors anymore. Let's become students." The stars outside the window shone bright. One of them was Earth's sun, far away, but closer than ever in their hearts. And as they returned to the station, they knew this was only the beginning. The air on Sky Garden felt different today. A soft mist floated through the garden paths, and a calm silence rested over the glass domes. It was the kind of morning that made people slow down and think. Zella, Mira, and Rin sat together near the music fountain, still thinking about the human ship they had toured the day before. They could not stop talking about its power, its design, and how it could fix itself without help. But today, Tom had invited them to something else, something not about power or machines. He met them in a quiet chamber known as the Hall of Dreams. The room was dim and peaceful, with soft lights dancing like stars on the walls. There were no chairs, only cushions placed in a circle. In the middle of the circle stood a strange, smooth object. It looked like a dark glass egg, about the size of a helmet. Blue light pulsed slowly from within. Tom stood beside it. "Today," he said, "I want to show you something from Earth that has nothing to do with speed or strength." Mira tilted her head. "What is it?" Tom placed a gentle hand on the object. "We call it the memory shell." The girls looked at it closely. There were no buttons, no screens. Just soft glass, glowing quietly. "What does it do?" Rin asked. "It records your memories," Tom said. Not just sounds or pictures, but the full experience, what you saw, felt, and even what your heart felt. Then it can replay those moments like you're really there again. Zella looked at him, surprised. You can record feelings? Tom nodded. Yes, and not only your own. You can also feel someone else's memory if they allow it. Mira slowly stepped forward. Can we try it? Tom smiled. Yes? Just place your hand on the shell and close your eyes. The shell will do the rest. Zella was the first to try. She sat quietly, placed her hand on the shell, and closed her eyes. The shell glowed brighter, wrapping her in soft blue light. She saw a new world. It was Earth. She stood on a beach with golden sand. The wind was warm and full of the smell of salt. Waves moved gently across her feet. Children ran by, laughing. Birds flew across the open sky. The sun was huge and orange, slowly sinking into the water. Zella could feel the wind in her hair, the sand under her toes, and the peace in her heart. It felt real, not just a picture but a living memory. She opened her eyes slowly. A single tear slid down her cheek. I've never felt anything like that, she whispered. It was so full of life. Tom said softly, that was my memory from Earth. I recorded it one summer at the sea. Mira stepped forward next. She touched the shell and closed her eyes. This time, she saw a garden full of strange earth flowers. In every color, a small girl ran between the trees, chasing a glowing insect. An older woman laughed gently and picked fruit from a tall tree. Mira felt joy, warmth, and love. She didn't know whose memory it was, but it made her feel like she belonged. When Mira opened her eyes, she smiled. This is more than just technology. It's emotion. It's beauty. Rin couldn't wait. She placed her hand on the shell quickly. She was taken into a memory of a night sky on Earth, stars everywhere. More than she had ever seen. Music played from a fire nearby. People danced in circles, holding hands and singing. Rin felt the rhythm, the happiness, the connection between the people. It was like being part of a story she had never known before. When she opened her eyes, she looked at Tom. Why did you make this? Tom sat down beside them. Because some things are too important to forget. On Earth, we lost many things: forests, animals, even people. We made this so we could keep those moments forever. Zella asked, can it also hold our memories? Tom nodded. Yes, it works with all living minds. Would you like to try? The girls looked at each other. Then, one by one, they agreed. Zella placed her hand on the shell again, this time to record. She closed her eyes and thought of her favorite memory, a mountain lake on her home planet, where soft blue light floated above the water and gentle fish swam in peace. The shell glowed, taking in her feelings. Next was Mira. She recorded the memory of her first painting as a child, done with soft glowing colors. Her mother had smiled at her with proud eyes, and that smile stayed in her heart forever. Rin recorded her memory of a night festival, where sky lanterns filled the air and songs echoed through the sky domes of her city. When they finished, Tom placed all their memories into the shell's library. Now, they could visit each other's past anytime. Zella looked at the shell, now glowing gently with 4 light stoms and theirs. I never thought machines could carry something so human, she said. Tom smiled. We used to think the same, but we learned that machines are just tools. It's what you choose to store inside them that matters. Mira leaned closer to the shell. Can we take it home? Tom handed her a small cube. This is a copy. It holds your memories and mine. Share it if you want, or keep it for yourselves. Rin hugged the cube like it was precious treasure. Later that evening, the girls walked back through the garden. They didn't talk much. Their minds were full. Zella looked up at the stars. Our people think humans are strong because of their machines. But I think they are strong because they remember. Mira added, they remember pain, joy, and even small moments. They carry it with them. Rin held the cube close. Maybe that's why they are different. They never let go of what makes life special. And as they walked, they passed other aliens from many worlds, but they didn't feel like strangers anymore. They felt like dreamers, just like Earth's people. The Sky Garden station floated silently above the blue planet below. Ships from many species moved gently through space, visiting or leaving, each carrying stories from faraway worlds. Tom and the three alien girls, Zella, Mira, and Ren, were walking through the bustling docks. They had spent days learning from each other, sharing ideas and dreams. Suddenly, a sharp alarm cut through the soft hum of the station. Red lights blinked across the walls. A loud voice echoed through the halls. Emergency, emergency. Vessel Silver Comet losing power. All units respond. Tom's eyes narrowed. He looked toward the docks where a small alien ship, the Silver Comet, was drifting dangerously close to the station's edge. Something is wrong, Tom said. We need to help. Zella and Mira looked at each other with concern. Ren's glowing cheeks dimmed as she listened. The Silver Comet was a research vessel from a small, peaceful planet. It had many important scientists aboard. If it crashed into the station or drifted into deep space, many lives would be lost. Tom moved quickly. We can't wait for others to act, he said. Let me use the drone system, Zella asked. Drone system? Tom smiled. Earth has machines that can fly and work by themselves, controlled remotely by people. I can send power to the Silver Comet with drones. Ren's eyes sparkled. Show us. Tom ran to a control room filled with screens and buttons. He wore a headset and quickly connected to his fleet of small drones, tiny flying machines, each no bigger than a bird. Watch closely, Tom said. The drones zipped out of the station like a swarm of silver sparks. They flew fast through the empty space toward the drifting ship. The Silver Comet was dark. Its lights flickered. The crew inside was trying to fix the power failure, but the systems were too damaged. The drones carried small power cells, energy packs designed to jumpstart systems. One by one, the drones attached the cells to the Silver Comet's power ports. The ship's engine slowly roared back to life. Back on Sky Garden, people watched the rescue with tense faces. Zell whispered, if he had waited, they would have been lost. Mira nodded. His courage saved them. Tom's fingers moved quickly over the controls. He sent more drones to help stabilize the ship's life support and navigation, Ren said softly. Machines are important, but it's the person who controls them that makes the difference. After several minutes, the Silver Comet was steady. The crew inside cheered as power returned. A voice came over the station's loudspeaker. Thanks to human engineer Tom and his drone fleet, the Silver Comet is safe. We owe you our lives. Later, Tom found the three girls near the gardens. Zella looked at him with new respect. Your machines are amazing, but your heart is what saved them. Tom smiled. We build technology, but we don't forget to care for each other. Mira said, on our world, people wait for orders. They are afraid to act, Ren added. Your bravery is stronger than your machines. Tom shook his head. It's not just me. It's what humans learned after many hard times. We know the future depends on courage and kindness, not just power. Zella looked thoughtful. Maybe that's what Earth has, a heart that beats with its machines. That night, the girls gathered in their room, talking about the rescue. Mira said, I want to bring this courage home. Ren nodded. Our people need to learn how to act, not just wait. Zella added. And we need technology that helps, but also a heart that leads. They looked at the stars outside their window, shining brightly. Mira whispered, Earth is more than machines and power. It is hope. Ren smiled. And we want to be part of that hope. Zella closed her eyes, holding the memory of the rescue close. The next day, the girls returned to Tom with a new question. Can you teach us more? Zella asked. Not just machines, but the courage to use them well. Tom nodded. I will. But it is not only about learning technology. It is about learning how to live with it, how to choose kindness over fear. Mira smiled. Then we will learn together, Ren said. We will bring this back to our world. Tom looked at them and felt hope. The Sky Garden had shown them Earth's machines. Now it had shown them Earth's heart. And the three alien girls knew that the real power of humans was not their technology, but their courage, kindness, and hope. The warm light of the Sky Garden's early morning bathed everything in gold. The flowers glowed softly, and the gentle hum of life filled the air. Birds sang as if celebrating something new. Tom met Zella, Mira, and were near the central plaza. The girls looked eager, their eyes bright with questions and hope. "I have something for you," Tom said, holding a small cube in his hand. It was no larger than a fist, smooth and silver, with soft blue lines running across its surface. The girls looked at it carefully. It was unlike anything they had seen before. "What is it?" Ren asked, her voice full of wonder. Tom smiled. "This is a seed module. It's a small device designed to terraform a piece of land and build a shelter, farm, and power source. It uses technology similar to what you saw on the Horizon Star and the fusion generator." Zilla raised an eyebrow. "Terraform, build. What do you mean?" Tom knelt and placed the cube on the ground. "Watch." The cube began to glow, and from its surface, tiny machines flew out in all directions. They moved swiftly but gently over the ground, digging, planting, and assembling. In moments, a small dome appeared, made of clear material that shone in the sunlight. Inside the dome, green plants grew quickly. Small water fountains bubbled. Panels absorbed sunlight and turned it into energy. Mira's eyes widened. "It creates a home by itself." "Yes," Tom said. "It's designed for explorers like you. You can take it to places that are hard to live in, and it will build a safe place for you and your people." Ren reached out to touch the dome. "This could change everything for us." Tom nodded. "I'm giving this to you not as a gift from Earth's leaders, but as a sign of trust from me to you." Zella looked at the cube and then at Tom. "Why us?" "Because you showed the courage to learn," Tom answered. "Because you asked the right questions, and because you want to use technology for peace and growth." Mira smiled. "We won't forget this." The girls sat in the garden, holding the seed module carefully between them. Ren whispered, "Our planet needs this. We have beauty and art, but we lack the tools to build and protect." Zella nodded. "This small cube could start a new future for us." Mira looked at her sisters. "We have a choice to keep this secret or to share it with our people," Zella said slowly. "We must share, but only with those who will protect." And Tom joined them. "I believe your people can do great things, but technology is only a tool. It needs wise hands." Ren smiled. "We will be those hands." Days passed quickly. The three girls learned more from Tom and the Earth scientists. They studied machines, plants, and energy systems. They wrote notes and asked questions, always eager. One afternoon, as the sky turned pink with sunset, the girls stood together near the dome Tom had built to demonstrate the seed module's power. Zella said softly, "I used to think humans were loud and chaotic. Now I see how they are careful and hopeful." Mira smiled. "Their machines are made to help, but their hearts are made to dream." Ren laughed quietly. "We came here to observe Earth, but now I feel like Earth is part of us." Tom watched them with pride. The future belongs to those who dream and build together. Before they left Sky Garden to return home, Tom gave the girls one last gift, a small data cube filled with Earth's knowledge books, music, history, and stories. "Use this wisely," he said. "And remember, technology is nothing without kindness and courage." Zilla took the cube and held it close. "We will carry it with us always." Mira looked at Tom. "One day, we hope to welcome you to our world." Ren smiled warmly. "And maybe you will see what your gift has started." The girls boarded their ship, carrying the seed module and the data cube carefully. As the ship rose toward the stars, they looked back at Sky Garden shining in the distance. Zella whispered, "Earth has given us a chance. We must not fail." Mira nodded. "We will make our world better. For all of us." Ren smiled and said, "Because of Earth and because of the human heart." The stars shone bright outside the ship as it moved swiftly through space. Inside, Zella, Mira, and Ren sat quietly, their hearts full of hope and dreams. They had traveled far from the Sky Garden, carrying gifts and knowledge from Earth. Their minds were full of plans for their home planet. As the ship entered their system, the familiar blue-green world grew larger in the view screen. Their planet was beautiful, with vast oceans, high mountains, and green forests. But it had problems: pollution in the cities, worn-out lands, and old machines that often broke. Zella looked out the window, her eyes soft. Our world is ready for change. But will our people be ready? Mira smiled. They will be. We carry Earth's hope with us. Ren laughed quietly. And Earth's courage. When the ship landed, the three girls were greeted by their families and leaders. The crowd was curious but cautious. Many had heard stories about Earth but did not believe much. Zella stepped forward. We have returned with gifts, technology, and knowledge to help us build a better future. She held up the seed module and the data cube. The crowd murmured. Mira spoke next. We have seen how humans use their machines with kindness, courage, and hope. Ren added, we want to share that with you. The leaders looked at each other. Some were skeptical. One elder said, can we trust this? Our people have always done things our way. Zella nodded respectfully. I understand. But we have seen Earth's mistakes and their strength to change. We believe our people can grow too. Mira stepped forward. Let us start small. Let us use the seed module to build a safe place where we can learn and grow. The leaders agreed to try. Over the next weeks, the girls and their people worked together. The seed module spread its tiny machines across the land, building shelters, farms, and power systems. Green plants returned to dry fields. Clean water flowed again. Small homes appeared where there was once only dust. The data cube shared stories and knowledge that inspired new ideas. Children learned about Earth's past and its dreams for the future. Zella watched as her people began to smile more, to hope more. One day, a group of children gathered near the new garden dome. Ren sat with them, showing pictures from the data cube. Earth is far away, she said softly, but we are connected. A child asked, can we visit Earth someday? Mira smiled. Maybe. But for now, we can build a home here, one full of kindness and courage. Zella stood nearby and whispered, this is only the beginning. Months passed. The planet slowly changed. Old machines were repaired or replaced. New ideas brought clean energy and fresh food. The people learned to work together. They shared stories and dreams. They remembered that courage was as important as power. One evening, Zella, Mira, and Ren stood on a hill, looking at the stars. Mira said, our world is waking up. Ren nodded. Because of Earth and because of us, Zella smiled, and because we dared to dream far away. On Earth and in the Sky Garden, Tom watched the stars too. He knew the gift was not just technology. It was hope, courage, and the human heart. And as the stars shone bright, he smiled, knowing that far away, new friendships were growing strong and full of promise. End of part 7.